Hey everybody, welcome to another World of Tanks video. As you can see, I am using the WZ-132. This tank, in all purposes, is a very enjoyable tank. Now the reason why I've chosen this tank, and the reason why, as you can see, I've put camo on it and I've done all the bits and pieces that you should do for a tank when you start to get going, is that this is the final, kind of the last scout tank you can get. The T8 scout tank. French have one, and the Chinese have one. Now, for me, this is the best scout tank in the game. Its camouflage value is really good, and its weapon is even better. Now this weapon, as you can see, is a 100mm weapon. It does 250 damage per shot, and it does 181 penetration. Now this is the second gun on this tank. There is another one that does a little bit more penetration, and you get a little bit better fire rate from it. But that's it. There isn't any kind of massive increase on the next weapon. It's still a 100mm weapon, and it's still, you know, there's still basically the same weapon, except you get that little touch of extra HP killing. So I'm fighting up against this WZ-131. He's not going to do very well. I don't mind taking enemy damage. I decide to push him back over the hill for some strange reason. I have no idea why I did that, because it means that he's now in cover, whereas before he wasn't. But I'm able to take a couple of hits, and the BC-25T takes him out. So what is the point of this tank? What's the difference between this tank and, say, the Type 64 that I showed you last time? Well, this tank is not as quick, but it's easily more maneuverable. Its power when it comes to the weapon is even better, and obviously it's got a lot more hit points, and you get into these tier 10 battles a lot of the time. Not every time, just a bit of the time. If your crew is good enough as well, you can sit on this little hillside here and you can shoot these tanks and you can do damage against them. It's not every day that you can take on a tier 9 medium tank in the pattern and do some damage to it. I mean, the Type 64 would be able to penetrate this tank on where I'm hitting it the same way. The problem is it won't be able to do half as much damage as I do in 2 shots. You'd need at least 5 or 6 shots to do as much damage. Now, if I was a little bit more accurate with the weapon, you'd notice that I'd be able to actually get some of these kills, which I don't. So it's a shame, but it's true. But the purpose of this tank isn't just to go around killing tanks. Its purpose is to spot them as well, like the Type 64 is doing right now. It's basically doing what I would have done if I was in the Type 64, and sit and just hope that I can spot some tanks. This tank is a little bit more This can bowl with the rest of the tanks. This has a really decent weapon. It does some serious damage against things that it shouldn't really be able to hit. You know, I've done nearly 1600 damage at this moment in time for a scout tank. I think that's pretty good. On top of that, it's speedy. It can take a couple of hits, and generally it's a very good looking tank as well. If you just look at it now, this tank is a good looking tank. There's no way about it. It is a good looking tank. Anyone who tells me that it isn't is a complete liar, really, because it is. So in terms of the battle, we've got a bit of a lead now. They've lost 4 tanks, we've only lost 1 tank. Obviously some of our tanks are a bit low on health in certain areas, but generally we're looking in a really quite healthy position. The two heavy tanks in the middle here are quite heavy tanks, so we've got to do some more damage against them and maybe help out the WTPZ-4 that's sitting there. T-57 Heavy goes down, E-100 goes down, and I'm thinking now I've lost probably my ability to do kind of any more damage and XP unless I go for the artillery. So my job really now is to go for the artillery. Luckily, have that shot missed. Clip the T-57, which is probably not the best thing to have done. Miss the shot on the run, as you would. It's very difficult to get a hit there. It probably wouldn't have done any damage either. Avoid the T-95 as much as possible and head around the back of this map. Because the back of this map is... I kind of have to go around here. To do any more kind of damage, I have to go around and see what I can do against the two artillery pieces, the Tier 8 and the Tier 9 pieces. Because that's the left thing I can really do damage to in any serious kind of offensive. The Object 140 though is around somewhere. It's a tier tank medium that I've got to be very careful on, because if I'm not careful I will obviously get killed by it. But luckily for me, I get a nice shot on it and I literally find the artillery pieces right where I want them, really. So unfortunately he's dead, and the 212 is going to follow fairly soon. He's going to try and shoot me, but unfortunately he's going to fail. Because I've already got round him, and my last shot is just a matter of time. As I said, the reload is probably the only thing that's really wrong with this weapon. It's like 8.5 seconds long, even if your crew's up high. If you have the upgraded gun, the top gun, then your gun will be about 7.5 seconds, which is just a bit better. And there you have it. I got 2 kills. I did 2,600 damage. On top of that, I did probably about half as much spotting damage, and I was the highest earner in that map. I haven't got the screenshots to prove that, but this is an old recording, but that is exactly how it turned out. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. This has been the WZ-132, one of my favourite tanks at the moment. I hope you enjoyed it. See you next time.